Well, that was a pathetic 150 horsepower burnout. No howling, no noise. Feels good. Can't wait till summer. All right, guys, so this video on YouTube here is a sample. The full video runs an hour and 30 minutes long and can be purchased by clicking on the link in the upper right. The video streams instantly after purchase. It's yours forever, unlimited views, and it streams on any device. Okay, so my patrons are gonna get this for free, and I'm not collecting pledges because this is a non-motorcycle related video. If you want to get this video for a little less, then you can consider becoming a patron. You also get a free t-shirt and access to other premium videos that I have, like engine rebuilds and stuff like that. Okay, so this video walks you through completely rebuilding a 12-bolt rear end. New seals, bearings, races, new posi, new ring and pinion, and obviously how to set up the gear pattern. The video takes you through 3 pattern checks. We start with a shallow pinion depth, then a perfect pattern, and then too deep of a pattern, all while checking the backlash and all that good stuff. So you get an idea of what's not good, what's good, and so forth. Also, I'll show you how to get the correct pinion bearing preload by crushing the sleeve on the pinion. And also, I got a nice little formula and a spreadsheet for getting the correct carrier bearing preload. That's often overlooked and people just kind of wing it. I actually have a procedure to correctly do that. Okay, so there's a ton of videos on how to set up ring and pinions on YouTube. However, I don't think there's a single video as detailed as this one. I watched a bunch of them, and sometimes they leave more questions than they answer, okay? And I try to get good camera angles, good audio, good lighting, and so forth, and I explain everything as I go. So I think that putting the time and effort in making a detailed video is definitely worth it to some people who want to learn how to do this. And you know, I saw a couple videos and they say, oh yeah, you just do that. They just point to it and do it. Well, in this video and in all my videos, I try to show exactly how to do things. Okay, so make sure to check out the blog post as well. I have a list of all the tools needed and all the parts used in this rebuild. So this rear end is for my 70 Chevelle. It came with a 10 bolt, an 8.2, 273 non-posi. So obviously, you know, you want to swap in a 12 bolt because it's more durable. You want the posi and decent gears. So I bought the core 12 bolt for 500 bucks, and I actually had to pay $200 to ship it from Indiana, somewhere in Indiana, to Chicago. I paid some guy on UShip to ship it over. And I had it blasted and powder coated, and then obviously all new parts went into this 12 bolt. Okay, that's all I gotta say. Enjoy the sample. Okay, let's begin by removing all the bolts. I already have a lot of them loose. Obviously you're gonna wanna drain the fluid. Mine came without fluid, so you know, if you just remove all these bolts, pop the cover off. Now this is a 273 open, so this is pretty much all garbage. No one wants this. It's not, you know, it's pretty much scrap metal, I guess. I guess I'll try to give it away, but okay. So you want to rotate the carrier around until you see this bolt, and you want to loosen it up. Now this is already loose, but if yours is on here and you're loosening it, and it feels pretty dang tight, you're probably going to want to tighten it just a hair and then crack it loose. I've heard of these cracking or breaking, and you don't want that to happen. So, alright, so pull this long bolt out, spin this guy around, and you're just going to want to push this shaft out. Okay, so see how it's coming out? And if it's really tight, just go ahead and spread the axles out a little bit so you can get it out. Alright, now with the cross pin out, what you're going to want to do is just push in slightly with the axle. Just grab the axle on the end and push it in. Grab a pen magnet, put it right about there, and you're going to see this clip here. Okay, this is the C-clip. Just gonna want to pull this guy out. Okay, and now the axle can come out. You're gonna want to repeat it for the right-hand side. Now at this point you can rotate this carrier and we can put the bolt back in so none of these spider gears fall out. Okay, let's zip the main cap bolts off. It's a 5/8. Alright, before we take these off, it's important to keep these oriented in the same orientation. And this one has to stay on the left, and this one has to stay on the right. So what I have here is a center punch, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 marks right here. And I'm going to put 2 marks on the cap here somewhere. There and there. That's enough for me to have a visual ID of which goes which. And you know, this will be the top. And with this one, I'm just going to put 1 mark. One mark there. 1 mark there, so it orients it each way, and I know which one's left, which one's right. Go ahead and pull those off. Okay, one more thing to mark. This right here is a shim. We're going to mark that as well. So it's this one that's about 200 some thou thick. So go ahead and put 2 marks in this as well. Now I'm using a new carrier, new gears, everything. That's probably not even going to matter, but you know, if you're just putting a gear set in, that's something you want to keep track of. So here's a closer look of where I put the marks. Right here, right here. So this is the shim, this is the bearing, and then obviously I marked the cap. Alright, so that's a little close-up of what's going on. Alright guys, time to remove the carrier. This thing is snug in here. Now if you're doing this in the car, the best way is probably just put a pry bar in here and grab it and yank it out. So like right here, and just lift it out. Another option is to do this right here. So you can see I'm underneath the bolt. So just going to lift it up like that. I probably could have grabbed these all in one shot, but I dropped them in there anyway. Okay, so these are the shims that I marked. So just hang on to those. 2 marks on this side. Go ahead and take that out. And let's go ahead and reinstall our bearing caps just so we don't lose them. Alright guys, time to remove the pinion nut and the yoke. And I soaked this a few times. You can see how rusty it is. This stuff right here, Croyle, good stuff. Try it out. It's expensive, but it works pretty good. Alright guys, this pinion is a 1 1/8. Okay, now I'm going to attach this harmonic balancer puller, which is completely toast, but it's going to work. I have some bolts from some drive shaft U-joint straps with some washers.